All right, here we are. We are doing. We're not doing a Tabletop Takeout Tuesday for this Tuesday, but it does have the T alliteration. That's Tales from the Table.
Oh, I thought it was for my name.
T-Bones, Tales from the Table.
It's my one recognition.
So, we are it as far as the recording goes. Alex and Ryan are both busy today. And
correct.
They're also very big on doing the videos with us.
Yeah.
So we were stuck with Ron and Rob and Steven, and who we love are great players.
Stuck in a good way.
Stuck in a great way. We love them.
Love
but as far as doing videos, they don't particularly like to be on camera very much. So, and I don't mind that. I'm not going to force them to do it because that means they're not having a good time. And that's what this is all about.
That's what happens when you work for the government. You kind of gotta lay low.
So that leaves T-Bone and myself.
The original guy.
Actually, yeah. Yeah, you know, so it was probably about, 42 years ago
Don't remind me.
that we first encountered this.
Thanks to Mr. Sean.
Mr. Sean W.
Yeah.
Yes. And we've been playing, especially me. He's had a break a few times.
Yeah.
But playing ever since.
You pick it up, you can drop it. It's like riding a bike. And once you know how to play this, you leave it for a year or more, you can come back down.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is.
Yeah, it's not like riding a unicycle, though. It's not that hard. Well, actually, basic can be a little bit.
Well,
First edition D&D really hard.
Yeah, you may not live to half the way through the module, and you're like, I put so much work into this.
Yeah, as far as character survival rate goes, it's kind of low in the basic line.
I'll give you a physical representation. This is your backstory, and this is how far you make it into the module. Okay? All right? So you really have no shot.
It's tough. I mean, damage happens a lot easier, I think, in this game. But remember, this, more so, I think, than Advanced, this also, which we never really got into when we were kids, and I don't know how much of it's going to be happening with this campaign, but, there is the option of parlay and talking to monsters when you see them. You don't have to just...
Which is good.
Yeah.
That's a fun aspect of it. It's not like, okay, you're presented with this enemy, what do you do? Well, of course, I take out my broad axe and I slash its neck. There's a little more interaction.
Murder hoboing is fun, but it only gets you so far. It only works against so many numbers.
Right. And when you're going in with 6 hit points, it's not like you're really indestructible.
6 hit points isn't bad.
Yeah.
It's not great either.
Not great. Yeah, it's not great either.
That depends on that's also why the original basic D&D line, the Moldvay version, and the earlier Holmes edition actually suggested large parties. 6 to 8 in a party.
And you wouldn't have thought that. I mean, luckily enough, when we first started playing this, we had enough people like that in the group. But you're thinking, like, yeah, why would I need... We can play this with 4 more. No. You can. It's not the best idea.
It's going to be a lot slower.
It's going to be a lot slower, yeah.
You have to take things one at a time, and there's definitely not going to be any Leroy Jenkins situation going on.
No Leroy Jenkins is.
Because that's how characters die in basic.
And you may have a couple of those neutral guys that are probably like, I'm going to leave.
Yeah, the alignments, if you've never played the original old school basic Dungeons and Dragons, and you're coming into it from 4th or 5th edition, or Pathfinder,
right,
you might be a little bit surprised the way they handle the alignments and the definitions of them. It's all stripped right down to just lawful, neutral, and chaotic. There's no good or evil technically listed.
No, it's funny. I mean, it's like you said. You look in the book, it's very straightforward. You know, if you're lawful, you're going to do what's best for the party and help out your group. You get that guy who's sort of just like, I'm just here to do the mission. You know, I really don't care what happens. And then you got the other guy who's like, wow, you guys are dying. See ya. I'm out.
Bye.
So it's a very stripped away, but fun. It's almost like you're taking it to that next difficulty level, where you're like, I've gotten pretty good at this game. You've been playing 4th and 5th edition. You come back down to this will smack you in the face.
That's a wake-up call.
This will right your ship real fast.
Yeah, don't get used to it. I would actually suggest, because this goes to 3rd level.
Right.
don't get used to one of these characters.
No.
Now, after you reach 3rd level, is it in here? I think it's in here, right? It's in here. After you reach 3rd level and you advance onto the expert, which takes it to like 14 or 15,
Right.
then become attached to somebody.
Start getting, you can actually relate more to your character because, wow, it survived all the way up to this level to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so something good's going on, and you have enough equipment and everything. And
I've gotten some good rolls. Nobody pulling a Ryan, so that's always good.
Even Ryan pulls a Ryan.
Even Ryan's
a
a
Ryan.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, because characters do. They fall kind of fast. And for this game, I definitely had suggested to all the players, well, we did something a little bit different. And I'll get a close-up of this also, but just we have it on hand. This is Rob's list. So we did this list where we just rolled up all these stats.
Kept rolling.
A minimum, like Rob has 9 times listed on this. And like some of us went into 2 cards.
We had Steven who did something like 16.
Yeah. Yeah, he went through 2 cards.
And he basically made thief, 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 torchbearer, thief, thief, thief,
Lamplighter.
thief, thief, thief,
Delivery boy.
some wandering NPC. That's basically what he made.
Town drunk.
The town drunk. So he just said, forget it. I'm just going to go with the best looking thief I can have. That's it.
But so this, and the reason I did this is that we each then picked one of the ability sets.
Right.
And that was our starting character. That's our starting character. And this way, when our characters die, it'll cut in half.
That's the amount of time, yeah.
To bring in a new character. Because you just go right here to your pre-generated stats and figure out what it's going to be best to make that you're going to play. And then just spend some starting equipment gold. And that's all you got to do, and I can pop these guys back in the party with new characters right away. So I think that was a boon. That's going to help us in this.
That's going to speed up a lot of things, especially like you said, with, characters coming and going and dying so quickly. I was lucky enough to get an elf.
It's like an Agatha Christie novel, and then there were none.
Right. This is a sped up version of Game of Thrones. Okay, you are not going to keep your main guy. All right, you're going to get Eddard Stark right off the bat.
And it is because we're even behind the castle walls as this is all happening.
Right.
All we're missing is the ravens to be sent out. That's all we're missing here.
Oh my goodness! Don't even get me started with Game of Thrones.
We got ballista.
Yeah, I heard dragons can take those out. Is that true? I'm just wondering.
Dragons are big targets.
So
you can take out a couple before.
I'm just.
Too soon.
Yeah, D&D, you guys, I don't know what you're doing. But anyway, back to the other D&D.
Yes.
It was a great idea. He's like, look, you guys are going to have to come over, make 10, 11, 12, 15 characters, whatever you think. Just keep rolling. Now, obviously, if you roll on the first thing and you get an 8s and 9s, automatically just scratch.
Yeah, he said if there's two or more. Hey, Rob's back.
Hey.
I forgot you guys. Do you have this?
I have to edit this out.
Oh, yeah, I have this, yeah.
Oh, you do have it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I finished it. I was gonna give it to you.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been playing so many games as it is, but that is actually very good.
It's very good.
I was shocked
good.
by it. It's one of the better Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks again, man.
All right, brother. Take care, my man. Interrupt again. You're coming back on camera.
All right, guys. I will see you hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
And we will continue with our storyline.
Yes, we will.
That's what we're speaking about
right now.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. I'm off.
Hi, Rob.
See you, man.
Oh no, I said that I had to keep it in. It's kind of funny.
Guest appearance.
Guest appearance by Russian Rob himself.
That's right.
I did say that if you have 2 or more stats that have 9 or less, just scrap that whole column of abilities.
Because there's no point. Keep rolling. Right,
it's going to be a useless character unless you really want to run around with the piss bucket boy of town. You gotta go to the bathroom, sir? I have the bucket for you. That's me bad.
I mean, you basically give us a half hour. You're like, look, while we're setting up, the 3 of you who have not made characters, roll as many times as you feel comfortable with. Get a character, and we'll base it on out of the book what we can actually match up the stats with. And that's what we did.
So now, running the adventure versus playing the adventure in a sense.
It's been a long time since I played this version, but I like this. I like the interaction between players and NPCs. It kind of adds that little flavor of, like we were saying earlier, the hack and slash. That kind of gets it's great, but it kind of gets tiresome after a while. You want to go to the inn. You kind of want to chill. You want to maybe divvy up, the day's earnings, interact with other, I'll give you a good example. Stephen, right off the bat, was trying to steal gold from the innkeep, the adventurers,
some of the mercenaries,
the sellswords who were sitting
which he
in there.
did.
He was able to get a bag. He got 3 gold and 8 silver. Yeah, and then just put the bag into
your sack.
Into my sack. Yeah. How about that? While I was asleep.
So I decided to give now. If you saw yesterday's midday monologue, I went over, and I'm not going to tell you what's in it.
Okay.
Check that out.
All right.
It does kind of lead into today's video.
Gotcha.
I did work on the NPCs because I wanted some of them to match up with the players and give all the players a reason to go there. So it started off after your characters were made.
Right.
That I texted you all.
Our little...
3-5 sentences.
Like the reasoning why we were actually coming to where we were.
What did you think of that?
I think that's a great idea. I'm always down for the secretive part of the game. Like, even outside of backstory, I kind of like the intrigue of, well, Rob doesn't know what my intentions are here versus what Rob's intentions are. Maybe... I like the whole thing of maybe he's going to text you like, hey John, in the next turn, I'm going to try and steal Tony's sack of gold. That's great. I enjoy stuff like that because you're adventuring with people you don't know. The characters don't know each other. You don't know why you're all banding together, so why not? Stephen was waiting for us to drop so he can take the rest of our stuff.
He literally he said it right flat out. If any of us drop, he is taking our stuff.
He's like, look, I'm a thief. He spent the least amount of money on everything. He was buying candles and...
Because he was looking forward to us falling and taking our equipment.
He knows. That's pretty smart. He's like, one of you is gonna die, so I'm just gonna take your stuff anyway and not spend the gold.
Yeah.
So that was great.
He is a thief. And we don't know what anyone else's alignment is.
No, not yet. No.
We didn't tell anyone. And I think that's good too, because you're just playing out your character's personalities.
Right.
Because in real life, you wouldn't know.
If all 4 of us in this room today didn't know each other, why would I give...
The only way you would be able to know is the use of alignment language.
That would be it. Right.
You would know... now, alignment language isn't... You can't have a conversation like we're having right now. You can't have a deep conversation. But with alignment language, you can get thoughts and ideas across by using certain slang words, more or less slang words.
That you kind of pick up.
That are used in people of your alignment.
Right.
Now, I've never liked the idea that if you change alignments, you forget your previous alignment language. That doesn't make sense to me. But I use the rule anyway. But I don't like it. But, let's say Anthony's... you're using an elf. Let's say Anthony's elf is neutral. I don't even know. He didn't even tell me.
No.
If I need to know, I'll ask him as DM. But right now, I don't need to know, so it doesn't bother me.
Right.
So let's say he chose neutral. The only way he's going to know someone else in the party is neutral is if they decide to tell me or to say out loud that they are saying something in the neutral alignment language.
Right, and then my character's going to be like, huh, all right. I know where his fates and traits lie. So I like that.
Yeah, it adds a little bit of realism to the whole, like you were saying. These are strangers to everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're fully chaotic here in this game, you're probably going to have some sense of, man, I don't want this person who's fighting along with me to die. That being said, you're also trying to look out for yourself. No matter how lawful you might be, you don't want to die, but you're going to try and help as much as you can from the next guy fall. Like I said, unless you're chaotic and you're like, wow, that guy's going down fast, I'm out.
So everyone had a reason to be at the Borderland Keep. Except Ron, technically, because his character's father was just stationed here.
So he was already there.
So he came about a year ago.
Yeah.
So I did a quick little thing, asking each of you what you were doing when you were here.
Yep.
And finding out if they weren't crossing paths. So there's no reason. I wasn't going to ask them what they were doing. It was, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
And I think I handled that fast enough. I don't think that any of you were just sitting here waiting too long.
No, and not to mention you had a dwarf, you had an elf, and you had 2 humans. So it's not like we're really going to cross a ton of paths a lot. So
No, but I did make it a point that you two were standing out, though, you and the dwarf.
yeah, we were standing out like sore thumbs at the inns and the
Highly human-centric.
I'm not.
And highly lawful, too. The whole place, whole establishment is a lawful township.
Yeah. You got the
Fortship?
shady characters sell swords, but you know, what can you do?
They got to make money.
They gotta make money somehow.
But everyone that works there that you've met,
Yeah.
you know, so they each separately got a chance to enter the census scribe,
Yep.
who you guys all thought was a sniveling little yes man.
Yeah.
Took notes. Some of you lied.
Me being one.
He's now being watched.
I'm being watched very carefully. I'm not gonna watch me for too long because I might be walking out, so you never know.
But while you're in there,
But while I'm
they're
in there,
watching.
they're gonna be keep an eye on
And
me.
you're the only elf there, so you stay there.
I was gonna say,
He's the only one there.
I'm the only elf there.
So
I'm a unicorn.
everyone there had a chance to do something on their own.
Yep.
And you all ended up at the Cavern Tavern that night.
Right, you had said there was an overcast sky coming, which threats of rain, so why not seek shelter? Best place to go is get food and drink and maybe some sleep inside the good old inn.
And that's where Stephen robbed the drunk mercenaries. It was at the end of the night where everyone got thrown out because it was closing.
Closing.
But that is also where you guys all got pulled together.
Yeah, their wizard came through the door looking for adventurers, and it didn't take long for a lot of people to stand up and say, hey, yeah, I need work. Then he prefaced it by saying, it's for free. And you'll keep whatever you find as long as the person comes back in one piece.
A merchant that went missing.
A merchant that went missing.
And his wife.
90+% of the sellsword said, nah, you can keep that free stuff to yourself, pal. So,
And the others got too drunk to care anyway, so...
yeah.
It basically came down to the PCs. Oddly enough.
Oddly enough, yeah. So, my mission here is, well, I won't give it away because, you know, the rest of the group sees it. I'm here looking for somebody. Well, actually, I did say it in the group, didn't I?
You did. You didn't get into
Yeah.
the suit. You said the name, but you didn't get into super detail.
I'm kind of looking for somebody that hasn't returned to where I'm from. So, the best way to find out information so far has been the town, which I've been cold leads. So, I asked the wizard, and he said, "Yep, come along. Maybe we'll find something that could help you out." So, I decided to go.
And everyone else, pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing.
Ron's character's looking for direction.
Yeah, you could tell like his character wants to kind of get out from underneath the shadow of his corporal dad. You know, he wants to find himself, lead his own path.
He's a fighter.
Fighter, yeah.
With no battles.
With no
to
battles.
enlist him.
Right. Then you have the
Rob is the dwarf.
Rob's the dwarf who's just looking to be, in his own words, be less bored.
Yes, which is not his mission at all. He has not been forthcoming, and that's fine.
Always fine.
It's up to each of you guys to.
Steven, you use right off the bat. I want to get stuff. I'm greedy. He's a thief. So he's played his character spot on, right to the.
And much like Rob, he has not come forward with why he is here, what he is doing.
Not at all. I guess I'm the only one that's really drawn to a degree.
You and the magic user.
That's it. I've been upfront about what I need or what I want.
So what is up with the dwarf and the thief?
Let's see. Elves and dwarves don't get along, so you know the elf is going
Some
to keep
secret missions that they don't want to talk about. I like the way
shady.
I like the way you guys all play, because that's the reason why I decided to text personal information to you guys.
I think that's the best way to do it. Even if it's something bad against another player, I think that's perfect. I love that.
Because even with people that have played this game long enough like you, that understand the difference between character knowledge and personal knowledge,
Right.
sitting around the table saying, okay, Anthony, this is why your character's here, here's your mission.
Right.
The rest of you don't know that.
Right.
Yeah, you could play it off, but you still know it.
Right.
This way, nobody knows anything.
Anything. Unless you come out and say it, they're not going to know it. And I think that's the best way to play it. Just keep small
And
text in there.
if you do, like you did, who even says that any of them believe you?
Right. I could be
don't
throwing that out there as a ruse just to keep them off my track.
I don't need to know that, so I didn't ask.
Right. That's a good way of doing it. If we'd had this back with Stephanie's, that'd have been a trip.
No, you guys played a lot more evil
Yeah, we went out there.
back then. You, Dennis, Mike in particular were three of the most evil players I've ever had.
And even to one another.
Even when we were playing evil characters, you guys were like above and beyond evil. To each other, yeah, but of course evil always folds in within itself.
We took it to that sociopath next level.
Wow, did we? We had a lot of issues to get out of in the 80s, didn't we?
Hey, took it out in RPGs. That's the way to do it. I'll take it.
We did. So the game ended off the night. You guys stayed in the bar. The wizard went wherever he went to go stay.
Said to meet him bright and early by the stables.
Stables.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're hoping that means that the guild that's paying for this is going to get them horses. They don't have a lot of money left.
No, I have under 12 gold and trying to get equipment and food rations and weapons, and it adds up after a while.
Trust me, after the first run into the marsh and the forest and the caves, any one of these guys that survives is going to be putting money towards retainers. They're going to be hiring some of those mercenaries.
Yeah, like come back to the town and say, "Alright, you guys that were bored and want some work, let's go."
D&D red shirts.
You're about to land on a planet and die.
Go into those caves first with the lantern.
You come here. Go into that cave.
You know, and you guys gotta keep in mind too that you and the dwarf are the only ones with infravision.
Yeah, so to me that's what I'm gonna love about it. So not having a lantern is not gonna be that big of a deal for me, but for the other guys.
But yeah, it's gonna blind more than half the party.
Yeah,
the wizard, the thief, and the fighter aren't gonna be able to see.
No. But he did take torches. I bought torches, so I was thinking ahead.
Okay,
I'm thinking ahead.
All right. Now, also got to think ahead. If you do survive long enough that you find an answer to your quest, what your character does.
I've already thought about that.
Is that an option to leave and you bring in a new character? Or is that, I have found companionship in non-elves and I give them my bow and...
It's going to be... I think it's really going to be depend, for me anyway, of how the other party members act. If these are people who I think are at least honorable and can venture forward with, maybe I'll stay. But like you said, maybe if I find what I'm looking for, I'm just like... Okay, guys, thanks. I'm gonna go. I don't need to be here anymore.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So the entire campaign idea of this is we're just gonna run this willy-nilly, so to speak, until we reach 3rd level. We're gonna go in, clear out as much stuff as we can, with as few characters as possible.
We'll keep you updated on the death count.
So death count for game 1?
0.
0.
We talked ourselves into 0 deaths.
But I think there's a possibility for change in the next game.
Yeah, if we're venturing out into that, yeah, it's gonna be rough.
Venturing out, leaving the safety of the borderland.
And I think the only guy in our party that's got over double-digit hit points is Ron.
Ron is 11, I think?
He has 11. And then
That's
there's
11.
9, 6, and... Oh, no! The dwarf has got 11.
That's right.
He rolled an 8.
Out. He has 18 con.
Yeah, so it's like whatever Ron's got, 11,
So
9 and 6.
I'm imagining that in a double-wide corridor, you guys are probably going to be putting the fighter and the dwarf in the front.
That's why I bought a bow. I'm staying back.
Shots from the back.
That's
what you got to do.
Shots in the back, and I can see in the dark, so I'm not worried about it.
To close this off, from what you remember of old school D&D, any advice you think you really need to remember for yourself or for any of the others that watch this?
The golden rules: don't split the party. Don't always rush in to to attack, we were saying before with Leroy Jenkins. That's not going to turn out well. Use negotiation skills as much as possible. Use your knowledge. Bribery. Anything that you can do to advance yourself without physical attack. Because when you have, like I said, 5, 6, 7 hit points, you ain't gonna last too long. So
Basic D&D is more of a thinking one, actually, than a murder hobo game.
Right. You cannot go murder hobo in this at all. You just gotta use your brain and connive your way through.
Not if you want your character to survive to the next level.
If you're really banking on that first character, then you really want to use your noggin.
Now, one thing I'm going to say to close out that I remember, and it's funny because I still do this to this day, and I even remember where this came from. It was one game where we were playing Tomb of Horrors. And in Tomb of Horrors, there's even a picture. It has a separate book that's just the illustrations. There's even an illustration of this, of a fighter opening up a door, and there's just like a spear shooting out, a spear trap just shooting out the door. And it was that encounter that caused, I think it was happening to Dennis.
It did.
But after that, all of you followed suit. Because whenever we'd open a door, they would be Anthony and they'd be very specific to tell me, okay, John, I'm not just opening the door, I'm opening the door. I'm opening with it, so in case something shoots out, I'm not standing there. And to this day, you know what? Here we go. What I've learned from D&D. Whenever I go down to the alley to throw out my garbage, and I got to pick up a garbage lid.
Right.
I always pick it up like this, in case there's a rat in there.
You can cap shield it.
Well, it's not going to jump on me. If there's a rat and it has to get out, it's going to go this way. So, yes, real life lessons learned from D&D. So I'm going to throw that in as something I think you should always remember playing Basic.
The stick.
With the 10-foot pole.
With the 10-foot pole
on the
floor for traps.
Pits. Right? Bang, bang, bang,
I don't feel like falling through a floor anymore.
But of course that's going to alert any nearby monsters.
Right.
So is it that big of a win? I don't know.
Well, if you break your leg and you fall into, a trap down where you're going to starve.
Worst pit trap I've ever used. It was not my creation. It came from one of the classic Grimtooth's Traps source books.
Wow, that's going
And it was a pit trap that at the bottom of the pit was a teleportation field that teleported you like 20 feet above the pit.
And just kept dropping you.
Amazing.
Endless falling.
Alright, so I am really hyped that I'm running this game finally. Getting us run through this and then to advance to the Isle of Dread.
And we got a couple more people coming in with Alex and Ryan, so that should be good.
Yeah, both of which were really upset that they had other plans they couldn't get out of.
And they think they're getting a fair share out of the gold. They're nuts. You're late, and that's too bad for you.
Well, it's 100 gold to divide, and that's only if the guy comes back alive. And that's one thing. Yeah, right. Steven was like, "How many people got to divide 100 gold
Steven
right
was
now?"
Adamant. I'm not splitting this thing.
Right now, there's 4 of us. You're counting the wizard that's hiring us. Is he getting a split of that?
That's like 20 gold apiece, and I did a little more than that.
So this is going to be really fun. We're gonna continue with Tales of the Tabletop with the 20-sided warriors after each game. We're going to be putting that up on Tuesdays to give me a little bit of a break from Tabletop Takeout Tuesdays.
Right.
But also, speaking of Tabletop Takeout Tuesdays, there's going to be a change. I didn't even tell him or anyone else about this. There's going to be a change coming up. Me and Tommy V. So this might not happen for another few weeks.
Okay.
But me and Tommy V have a new sub-series for Tales of the Tabletop called Character Close-Up, where we are going to delve in and give you the pros and cons and history behind certain characters in certain board games. It's not just going to be our D&D characters or anything like that. It's going to be about maybe the Smith family.
From Dulce.
In Escape from Dulce. Or maybe it'll be about Ashcan Pete from the Arkham Horror games or something.
How about Mr. Monopoly? No?
If you want to ruin a game of Monopoly, never buy a hotel. Just keep buying more houses, cause a housing shortage.
Hey, I had to plug Parker Brothers. I'm sorry.
Alright, so thank you everyone for checking us out on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Love you so much.
Love you.
Oh, I did it the wrong way. There we go. I did this. I'm like, I binocular you so
I
much.
can see your heart. I can see your
No, we do love you very much. And also thank you for checking out the Zazzle store. You know, we keep selling. One thing that really keeps selling right now
My face?
is your face on toilet paper.
Oh, awesome.
No, it is the Potion of Healing mug, actually.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
People are really buying that up. They're loving that. So check it out. Maybe you're going to like that one too. You'll find something else.
We're going to need a few of those for this party.
Yeah, you guys might want to get some yourselves. All right, and right here on YouTube, thank you for liking our channel and subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much for commenting and sharing our videos. Thank you for checking out all the things that we do, like our D&D games. Woo! Old school, baby!
Listen to us ramble.
Old men talking grognard nonsense! In my days, kobolds looked like lizard dogs! Ah! and beholders look freakishly poorly drawn.
I found a kobold.
Not a kobold.
No.
Oh, it's Kobold Mojo. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And I'm your buddy, Big Johnny G. This is T-Bone for the 20-Sided Warriors. And we are out of here.
Here, I'll slide over this one.
He's driving home.
I don't know. I would assume so. He might be going there. I hope so. It is the last picture. Jesus, Ron, he's gonna fucking kill me.
Yeah, it's like every game, me and him always end up doing a two-player thing with it. That's the same thing. It's like every turn, having to explain to him what he's doing for the turn.
Rob, stop touching your tracker. Rob, stop touching your tracker. Rob, stop touching your tracker. Don't you want to show old school pencils on how this is
Old
done?
school, this is real pencils right here. This is what we call a pencil. In our days, you had to color the dice in when you got D&D, or you couldn't read the numbers.
We were using rocks as dice.
Our 8-sided dice only had 6 sides, and we were happy.
I didn't think you would collect these ones with the holes in it.
Yeah, I don't remember mine having holes, but it might have.
Because there was like a few of the modules over there, and it had holes. I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna want one of those fucking holes in it. Like, oh, it's
You know, at this point, it doesn't even matter. It really doesn't.
I'll know that for next time.
All right, so I'm going to do the intro separately, so no screaming right here at the moment.
Okay.
So we'll just do a little count in. And we're going to come in so I know where to edit.
You think?
That ending reminded me there of policing, the police squad.
Oh,
At the end of every, they would just freeze.
yeah, and
But everyone else around them would just keep walking. No, that's good. Yeah, you and me are good on camera. Me and Tom are good on camera. I want to try to get
Alex
more
is good
combinations.
too.
Alex is good on camera. Oh, Alex is generally good on camera.
Alex is really good with the